Hello dear students, today's video is from 8th standard NCERT Geography's second chapter Land, Soil, Water, Natural Vegetation and Wildlife Resources. Before beginning with chapter, I am going to say about some of the regions of the world. Now let's go to Tanzania. It's a small village in Africa. You can see Tanzania over here. In Tanzania, most of the regions are very dry. They do not get any water resources. So, people over these places go to far distance and walks many hours for fetching water. They wake up early in the morning and walk very fast for fetching water. They even take care of their gods. The gods you are seeing over there are very different from gods from other places. And they even cultivate maize, beans, etc. But the livelihood of those areas are very different. Cultivating these things may not help them to live a proper and better life all throughout the year. Then also they live. Then I am going to New Zealand. In some places of New Zealand, people rear sheep. The sheep rearing areas of New Zealand, they use different technologies and skills of man for producing and taking wools from the sheep. Then they also cultivate organic vegetables and all. People there use more and more different technologies for all these things. Now we can go to another place in South Indian state, Kerala, and this is Mundakkaram Thekadi Road. Here you can see beautiful greenery, water resources, mountains, etc. So friends, we have gone through 3 different places in the world and we have seen different types of livelihood people are going through. In some places, physical characteristics changes according to land, soil, water resources, rainfall they receive, etc. So, uneven distribution of land leads to uneven type of livelihood people experience all throughout the globe. Now, I am going to say about the first resource, that is the most important resource, most important natural resource that we have. That is land. 30% of the globe is comprised of land areas. In that 30%, 70% are not habited. That means not habited means those areas does not have any livelihood. People does not live in those areas like glaciers, desert regions, forest, etc. And 90% population lives in the remaining 30% areas. 3/4 of the globe are comprised of water resources and the remaining 1/4 of the globe comprised of land. Land includes forest, water bodies, plains, plateaus, mountains, etc. The regions with rugged topography, steep slopes and underlying areas from earth's surface or low-lying areas from earth's surface, people does not live in those areas because livelihood over those places are very difficult. Land use are of many types. People use land for agriculture, forestry, mining, fishing, building houses and other constructions, etc. And land use are of 2 types, that is according to physical factors and human factors. Physical factors, that is different types of physical characteristics like soil, climate, rainfall, water resources availabilities, etc. And human factors are population and availability of technologies over that place. Now, I am going to show you a place. It's Salzburg in Austria. Here you can see in the picture, people use these areas for different kinds of activities like construction, agriculture, etc. Now, here there is a chart which shows different countries showing their land uses for different ways like land uses for crop cultivation, for forestry, for feeding animals and some other uses. In the chart you can see India uses more amount amount of land for crop cultivation. In the chart you can see that. And next we can see pastoral land. Pastoral land are the land used for feeding animals. Australia uses large number of pastoral lands. Then you can see Brazil is having large number of forest areas. And the next table, it's Canada. Canada uses land for different activities more compared to other countries. That different activities are for commercial activities, construction purposes, etc. Next, land is divided into two parts. That is private land and community land. Private land is the land which is owned by private individuals. But community land is a wide area of land at which people use these lands in common, like for cultivation, for harvesting fruits, vegetables, and maybe for medicinal herbs collection, etc. And these land, common land, is known as community land or community property resources, CPR. So I'll show you a picture. So I am going to show you 4 images at which a small village changed into a big city. In the first image, you can see a small village which comprised of huts and farmers are farming their fields, etc. In the next image, those huts have changed into large buildings. In the third picture, you can see roads has come. Different ways of roads and small numbers of vehicles are going through that roads. In the fourth picture, you can see this road has evolved, big flats, buildings has come and different modes of transport came into existence over that area. Now, the small village has completely changed to a big city. This is time and technology changes different places to different types. There are only limited number of lands in the world. When population increase, demands for land also increase, but land is limited. So, when commercialization, industrialization, etc. increase, the land will get more affected. There are many threats that will affect our land. They are land degradation, desertification, soil erosion, landslides, etc. And land degradation, desertification are all caused by human activities. Natural calamities that occur like soil erosion, landslides also affects the land. So, I'll explain some of the measures of land conservation. The first one is just opposite of land degradation, that is land reclamation. And the other one is afforestation. Afforestation means planting more trees. Next method of conservation of land is limited use of fertilizers and chemicals. And the next one is controlling the overgrazing of animals on the land. Next, I am going to show you what is landslide. You can see landslide in the picture. Landslide is the mass movement of soil from the earth's surface. It is seen on the steepy, slopy areas. It is mostly happens during continuous rainfall over a particular period of time after floods, earthquakes or volcanic eruptions. It mostly affects people who living in the low-lying areas under a hill or mountainous areas. In your textbook, there is a case study that is explaining Pangi village. In that village, once there happened a landslide and 200 meters of Hindustan-Tibet road has completely damaged and also it affected NH22. These are the after effects of landslides. It affects a lot for the people lying in the low-lying areas. Next, I am going to explain the mitigation methods of landslides. That is disaster management of landslides. First one is hazard mapping. Hazard mapping is the process of locating landslide prone areas and using GPS or GIS system and making people to evacuate from those areas before a landslide occurs. Next is constructing retention walls on the areas which are prone to landslides. Retention walls are strong walls that helps the areas of continuous landslides. And the next one is improving vegetation over the areas where there is prone to Landslides. Vegetation is cultivating more and more trees and deep-rooted and strong trees which absorbs water content which has occurred from continuous and heavy rainfall. And next is improving drainage systems over the areas, and drainage systems collect excess water on the surface of the earth. Okay dear students, this is the end of this video. In this video I have explained about land. In the coming videos I will explain about another natural resources. If you have any sorts of doubts in this video, just contact to this email ID. Thank you.